Hello guys, how are you? This is Lopa Mudra Mandal, and today I'm here to talk about my feelings and also to share few things about what exactly is happening these days. Well, the topic for today is indeed in pursuit of happiness, which is in search of happiness. Well, let me start this way. Okay, let me start with a small story, all right? Okay, so there's this guy, okay, who was like 8 years old. As and when he started growing, all this while he was really happy, okay, because he was very childish and he was enjoying his childhood activities. But as and when he started growing up, he realized that especially his parents are not that happy. Reason being that he is not able to perform that well in his studies. There is obviously a constant peer competitions which is happening around him, and he wanted to do well. He wanted to participate in everything. Well, he did that, but irrespective of that, somehow, somewhere, he was not getting to that point where he wanted to see himself. And this made him very unhappy from inside because he was always compared. You see, his parents were comparing him. Well, you're not good in this, you're not good in that. At least learn something, do this. Where's your life going to go? So this guy, as and when he started growing, his stress started inbuilting in him. Okay, so one of the fine days he went to a deserted place, and he sat there and he started thinking and sobbing and crying, and suddenly his fate kind of hit one something. Okay, so he kind of searched there, and he got a diary. Okay, now this diary was something like a wish diary. Okay, so he opened the diary and he saw and he read that it was written in the diary. Okay, it was written that this is a wish diary and it is going to fulfill everything you want, everything you need to be happy. So this guy was, yeah, I got this diary and now I can get everything and anything in this world which will make me happy, right? So the first thing what he wrote in the diary was, I want to be really good in studies. So as soon as he wrote that, the next day he started seeing that there is a different level of excitement inside him to study, to comprehend, to understand, and there was like great zeal for him to learn more and more, getting into depth of his studies. And people around him started noticing it. His parents were extremely happy. He could never feel so much of love, around him as he could feel it on that day. And he was enjoying that part, and suddenly, until he noticed the guy who comes first in his class, and he looked at him and he decided, okay, now I want to be like him. I want to come first in the class. So he went and wrote in the diary that I wish to come first in the class, and believe me, it happened. And then he looked at the school level. There was this guy who was getting first throughout the section. So he went and wrote in the diary, I want to come first throughout the section. I want the maximum marks. He did that as well. Believe me or not, there was a day in the assembly when the seniors were going out and the convocation, and there was this principal who was standing and kind of giving a standing ovation to a student who was, who had excelled in his academics, as well as the other extracurricular activity, and he got placed in renowned university, and principal was saying that I'm so I can't say how how proud moment it is for me that this guy is a part of our school. And this guy, our hero, the person whom I'm talking about, he started thinking in those lines, and he said, hey, I want to be something like him. And he went, immediately the thing what he did was, he wrote it in his diary as I want to do great with my studies, with extracurricular activities, and I also want to get placed in one of the renowned university. And believe me, he did that. After he got into the renowned university, Now the next thing was, again, the final year students, they started saying, discussing, okay, there's this guy who's got this big package and one of the best companies. And wow, his life is amazing. And this guy started imagining, wow, what a life is that? Even I want to get it. I want to be best and I want to get that salary. I want to get that compensation. I want to get into something like that. And immediately he did that. And he became. With that, now what happened was he had to be moving abroad. So his parents were sobbing, but then they were so happy that, ooh, my son is going to America and he's going to work there. It's such a proud feeling for the parents. And he went there. After he went there, he started working, loads of work, right? In between he happened to see one of his friends or colleague, you could say, with a beautiful lady sitting beside him. And he thought, wow, beautiful girl. I would wish to get married to a girl like this who is so smart. And he goes and writes in the diary. And, he does get a girl who is beautiful. And he feels, now I am the happiest person in the world. Okay, now with the girl comes the responsibility of the girl, the family, and also the kids. And his life started running. And he was focusing more and more towards his career. Right? Here in India, his parents were trying to give him a call and he like, Mama, just wait for some time. I'm too busy. And slowly this way, what happened was, though he wanted to be emotionally connected, he didn't have so much of time. His parents thought, what life is this? We have gone old. He doesn't even bother about us. But this guy never had even the time to think about it, right? And as and then, let's see how the journey goes, right? So he started, now in his life came another place where he saw, the vice president. So he thought, wow, I wish to be the vice president. And he started working towards it. And obviously he wrote it in his diary, I want to be the vice president of the company. So as he became the vice president, you see the responsibility was inbuilt. And with that, obviously, you see he was going away from his wife as well as his kids. He never saw his kids growing. And this is the way he started going. He started flourishing himself, getting a lot of money, probably the best car in the world. Everything was best with him, believe me or not. So one fine morning, while he was driving towards his office, he saw these two chaps, almost of his age. And these guys were playing chess sitting in the park. So what he did was he stopped his car. Okay, just kind of excuse me guys because my charge is coming to an end. I'm trying to kind of put the charge here. Okay, so what happened was he was... just give me one moment, please. Let me just fix this. Yeah. So what he did was, he started walking towards them and he said, hey, you guys seem to be of my age and how come you guys are so relaxed and playing chess here, whereas I'm rushing to office. I've got so much of stress in my mind. You guys don't have any better job to do in life? And those guys, they just looked at him and they said, breathe for some time, dear. Okay, so about us, we wanted very limited things in our life. Okay, reason being, whatever we wanted to become, we have achieved it, and we are content with it. We are happy with whatever we have it, because we wanted to give priority to, my wife. I wanted to give priority to my wife. I wanted to see my children growing up. I wanted to equally participate in my day-to-day activity. I wanted to really see everything changing, growing, feeling. This is what I wanted. So, and both of them said the same thing, and that's why we are here. And I think we can kind of manage things the way we have planned, and we are more than happy about it. I always wanted to play with my friends. I always wanted to imagine my life this way. So this is how we are. Now, this guy stood still as that happiness is actually not a destination. It's a state of mind. The more you want to desire, the more you wish to get. It's a kind of a well which doesn't have an end point. It's a kind of situation where people are, telling that, I have to do this, I never did that, I have to do all the household chores, I have to make kids to learn, I have 2 kids, I have to do this, I have to do that. But you see, if we change our vision little bit, right, towards what is happening at this point of time, we can still be happy. I know a lot of people have been thrown out of the job. A lot of people who had got the job, they have not yet got the offer letter. The businesses are going bad. A lot of kids, especially 10th and 12th, their exams are, somewhere halfway hanging. Parents are really worried about it. But what's so more important than that? Our human life, a healthy future. Right? So that's why they had told us to be under lockdown. Now, the thing is that by following this, I know sitting in the house is really not good. And me being a human being, even I'm feeling the same as you guys can. But what can be done? Seriously. And when nothing can be done, we need to start enjoying the situation at this point of time. Because everything is in the mind. What you believe will happen. Whatever you do derives you. Your happiness derives that. If you feel today that, look, I'm happy with this, you are happy. If you still want to go ahead and question, nothing is going to happen because things are actually not in our hands. When things are not in our hands, we have to start doing things which are in our hand, which is in our vicinity. Start, doing things like, reading comics, which you used to do during your childhood. Invent or discover probably a new recipe which you never tried. Talk to a friend with whom you have never spoken with. Start thinking, writing diaries. Do things which makes you feel happy. I've spoken to so many people, especially ladies who says that, ma'am, we don't get time. It's always running around. Believe me, this is the right time to connect to your kids. They say that there is a generation gap. Believe me, there is absolutely no generation gap. Probably this is the time you can make the right utilization, where you can connect with your husband. You can probably connect with your kids. They can be your best friends. Probably you can, instead of always asking them questions, this is the time for you to start conversation with them. Building relationship with others. Caring about others. It's not that, I've seen so many people that just because it's a lockdown, they just go out and as much as think they can stock it in their house, they are doing it. And because of that, a lot of other people are not getting it. You know what? We can defeat this pandemic, not individually, but by together, joining hands. We are very lucky that, this is the first time we, as well as our kids, are understanding what is the importance of independence. All this while, believe me or not, nobody actually thought what independence means. What people gave in their blood, their soul to get, our country to what it is now. But by being locked down for 1.5, months inside the house, people feel that their freedom, their independence have gone. Just imagine those people. We are in much more better situation now, right? So I would suggest you that start thinking towards this line. Happiness is all within. Happiness is all towards your mind. Start upskilling yourself. Do a lot of innovations within yourself, which will make you happy. And with that, I end the session for today. Take good care of yourself. Stay happy, stay healthy. Until then, bye-bye.